Hey guys, Jono here. Today we're going to be running 30 expedition logbooks and see how much currency we can make from them. I went for eye level 81. I self-farmed some of them and bought some of them for, on average, like 2.5 divines. So that's what we're going to say the investment is, 2.5 divines per logbook. That is somewhat expensive, but they all pretty much should at least pay for themselves because the runic splinters are 1 to about 10 to 1. So as long as you get more than 25 of these, you've more than covered the cost of the logbook, and obviously you're going to get other things too. I'll do the first logbook here in a second, but the runic splinters are going to be the main things we're targeting with those runic chests. And then we're also going to go for currency chests and map chests, since I think maps are selling for about 20 exalts each right now as well. And then I'll go for all of the side areas and bosses as well. So we'll talk to Danik here, hand him the first one. And as far as the mods go, I didn't really target anything specific. Like I said, I self-farmed some of them, and then I just bought the cheapest ones on trade. So yeah, nothing specific targeted there. But I'll read the mods and choose which one I think is better. Just probably ones that increase drops is probably what I'll favor. Yeah, so I think we'll go for this one. So yeah, taking a look at the map here, I think we'll try to go for these side areas and all of the X's, and then try and get as many runic chests, these ones as well. Pretty good start here, currency and a runic. Alright, I think we got about as much as we can there, so we'll go ahead, detonate. And we'll just follow the chain. I already got 5 runic splinters. And then for the artifacts, I think I'm just going to be picking up the exotic coinage. Those are worth about an exalt. All of the artifacts are worth less than an exalt, so don't really think those are going to be worth picking them up. 50,000 gold there, that's not bad. I am going to be tracking that. So we'll see at the end of all 30 how much gold we have. 14 splinters. Yeah, and as far as difficulty goes, just check this little thing down here, make sure you don't have any of the negative modifiers that will completely brick your build. Like, if you do physical damage, don't click on any that are immune to physical damage. But other than that, you do have infinite attempts at this. You can just keep coming in and out, so should be a relatively easy strategy, especially considering most of the good drops are going to come from chests anyway. Well, that first side area definitely seems pretty good. Got 20 splinters from it. Let's see how the other one is. Yeah, this one's not quite as good, just 7 splinters and about half as many chests. Alright, looks like that's pretty much everything. So even just after that first one, we got 100 splinters, and like I said, it's just like 25 to pay for the book, so 4x investment just from the splinters in that first book, so seems pretty good so far. I'll time one of them to see how long it takes me, and then I'll probably show some highlights if there are any really good highlights from the other 29 of these, and then I will be back after that. I think this is probably going to be the worst one we get. This logbook only gave 23 splinters, so the total of 4 chests. There was actually only 2 in the main map itself, and there were 2 in the side area, so that was kind of lucky. If it was just the 2 chests, I think this map would have been a loss, but I think 23 is just enough to make a little bit of profit. But yeah, just wanted to show, I think this is about as low as we're going to get is 23. Well, I thought that one from before was going to be the worst, but we actually just got one with just 19 here, which I think this is still just barely break even, but definitely not great. So looks like anywhere from like 15 to 25 is probably the lowest you're going to get from one of these. And now we're done with 30 logbooks. As I thought, not too much to highlight there. You're kind of just getting the runic chests and picking up whatever else is there along the way. In that last clip there, I just went over what the lowest runic splinters was. The highest runic splinters in a single logbook was, I think, about 140. So pretty big range there. It did seem to be pretty random how many runic chests there were outside of the the mod you can get where it says additional chest markers. But even the ones with those, if it says 11 additional chests, none of those could be runic chests. So I did notice that mod also makes the books significantly more expensive. I don't think it's super worth it. I would just buy the cheapest logbooks or just farm them yourself, and then you have a chance to get that mod anyway. But yeah, I'll go through and price check all of this stuff, convert most of this that I can into just raw currency, exalts, chaos, or divines, and then I'll just kind of estimate for all the stuff that I can't currency convert with Ange. And yeah, I'll be back after that. Alright, so we've got everything calculated and converted. Most of this was the runic splinters, but we have 256 divines, and I'd say about half a divine of chaos and exalts here, so we're going to call that 256.5 div of raw and converted currency. And then maps, this is actually 5 divines worth of maps. Each of these is going for about 18 to 20 exalts right now. So yeah, the map chest is actually probably the second best chest you can get. I definitely wouldn't skip a splinter chest for a map chest, but if you can get all the splinter chests relatively easily, I would try and get the map chests in there as well. And this actually seems like a decent strat to farm maps if that's something you're looking to do. And then lastly, the random items here, just some bases, some uniques, tablets, and some like high tier rares and magic items. Ended up being 2.3 div. Some of this might not be worth picking up, but I still did, so calculated it. So that leaves us with a total of 263.8 divines. And then when I timed a logbook, I just timed a random one in the middle this time. It took me 5 minutes and 47 seconds, which would be just under 3 hours. And then our average cost per logbook, like I said earlier, was 2.5 divines. So that gives us a total cost of 75 divines. So if we subtract that from our profit, that gives us 188.8 divines. That's our total profit. So with that profit and then that time per logbook, that gives us 65.3 divines per hour. Significantly better than our last strat, though. There has been a decent amount of inflation since then, so there's definitely more of a gap there because of that, but this is definitely a good strat to do right now. It's very easy as well. You're pretty much just opening chests. Killing the monsters maybe gave me, give or take, 1 to 2 divines of this total. If that, it might even be less than a divine. So I mean, you can do this on pretty much any character as long as you can afford a logbook. You can probably just turn it into as many divines as you need, because you can just convert the runic splinters with Ange and then use those divines to buy more logbooks and then just keep going from there. And I think I forgot to go over gold again. I did spend some just now on the currency exchange, but before I did, I started at 8 million and made it up to just under 9 million. So just like the last strat, we ended up getting just under 1 million gold again. With all of this currency converting, we spent like 250k. So definitely gonna lose some there, because you know, converting 2,000 runic splinters into 250 divines is pretty expensive. But you are still gonna make plenty of gold to profit there. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Overall, I think pretty decent strategy and very easy too. All you need is a logbook and Danig in your hideout, and you're pretty much good to go. And I think I'm gonna put most of this money into a new build, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day.